Yokwe, aloha, and a very warm welcome to the Pacific Way, bringing you stories that matter to the Pacific people. In this episode, we travel to Isabella Province in Papua New Guinea, where Mount Tavurvur continues to rumble. Papua New Guinea is one of the most active geohazard zones in the region, with over 20 active volcanoes. The Rabaul Volcano Observatory is keeping watch.
Our great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers, they talked a lot about an eruption. They told us that when you see these things happening, natural things happening, that is an indication that there will be an eruption. So they said that when you see the sea receding and continuous rumbling, quaking, the earthquake, during that time, there was also the seaweeds were uprooted and the sea receding right out to sea. The dogs here don't normally howl, but during that time, before the eruption, the dogs were howling. The cats were uneasy. Even the chickens and all the animals were very frightened, and they were acting very peculiar. So those were the indication that we were told that when you see things happening like that, that is an indication that definitely there will be an eruption.
We've done a lot of work on the geological, volcanological history of the area, and it's very clear that the system has been in existence for a very long time, hundreds of thousands of years, and so we built up a historical record, a prehistorical record. So we know that because of the history of the volcano that it will erupt again, so we have to prepare for the next eruption.
The Rabaul caldera, located on New Britain Island in Papua New Guinea, is one of the region's most active geohazard zones. It lies along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a network of active volcanoes which has helped shape our islands and yet pose the biggest threat to our existence. For centuries, traditional knowledge has been the main factor in saving lives of people living around active volcanoes. They were taught to read the signs and prepare for one of Mother Nature's greatest furies. In 1994, Mount Tavurvur erupted.
It was 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, that was when hell broke out. It was totally dark, lightning was very, very low, and everybody was just, didn't know what to do. You had to just, whatever you can find, just get under whatever you can find and just get yourself in there and stay in there.
The Rabaul Volcano Observatory, which has been keeping an eye on Mount Tavurvur since 1940, provided sufficient warnings of her imminent eruption.
So we get the information through the instrumentation that we have in Rabaul caldera and other volcanoes, as I have indicated. We get that information and we try to analyze them. So by using that information, we sort of make assessments on the conditions or the status of the volcano. So if we see that there's activity, developing, and that may progress to an eruption, then two things happen. If the activity actually develops into a potential eruption, the Rabaul Volcano Observatory activates its 24/7 watch system.
The Rabaul Volcano Observatory, or ROV, also has to monitor several of PNG's active and dormant volcanoes every day.
It was 24, and so currently it's 22 dormant volcanoes. So our responsibility is to monitor as many of the volcanoes as possible, especially the active volcanoes. Unfortunately, due to our resources, we are able to monitor only, select a number of volcanoes, and that is what we regard as high-risk volcanoes. So that class of volcanoes consists of about 6 or 8 volcanoes.
In efforts to increase the monitoring and surveillance capacity of the Port Moresby Geophysical Observatory, The Pacific Communities Building Resilience and Safety in the Pacific, or BSRP program, teamed up with the PNG Department of Mineral Policy and Geohazards Management to identify and prioritize their needs. Funded through the European Union, the BSRP team and geologists and seismologists requested specialized equipment.
The equipment that has been given is a very sophisticated equipment that will be used to monitor the eruption of volcanoes, not only for Rabaul, but for all the whole of PNG. So they have a set of equipments located in Port Moresby at the observatory in Port Moresby, and there's another set of equipment at Rabaul. The one at Rabaul is very critical because taking into consideration the 1994 eruption and then another eruption in 2015 on Tavurvur volcano. So those are the equipments, and it also are mobile equipment that they take to respective monitoring stations that they have, and they use that equipment for monitoring.
The specialized equipment now allows the ROV to quickly mobilize and deploy teams when volcanic activities start to escalate.
We don't have instruments on all our stations, on all our volcanoes. So the instruments, they help us to put or to respond to volcanoes or activities of volcanoes that don't have instruments on. So with portable seismographs, if there's activity on a volcano that do not have instruments, we deploy them and do field assessments and continue to monitor the volcano and provide information back to the central observatory and to authorities that need the information to do their own decisions.
The Port Moresby Geophysical Observatory is confident that with increased technological resources, they are placed in a better position to predict possible future eruptions.
So the advantage these instruments give us is we are able to see what is happening inside the volcano before it manifests on the crater. So without these instruments, RVO wouldn't be able to see what's happening inside and then make that information available to the people. So again, without these instruments, there might not be enough warning for the people to let them know that something is happening inside the volcano or might happen to the volcano. Yeah. So once it has erupted, when we deploy, we can try and track the activity of the volcano and then say whether it's going to continue or not.
BSRP, through funding support from the EU, is also assisting in the development of new and innovative diploma-level courses directly related to natural disaster risk management and geohazards monitoring and response.
The University of Papua New Guinea, through the Geohazard Division, they have actually designed four modules on disaster risk management that is going to be implemented at the university. This is to train, to build capacity, for the young generation now, because that there's a lot of staff turnover in terms of age. The experience are now going away, so we need to build a capacity with a new set of expertise through the students and through the courses or the modules offered by the University of PNG to train people so that this is continued and ensuring sustainability.
And while these may be just small machines, for the government of PNG, it means building the resilience of their people to prepare and endure future disasters.
Well, it's extremely important we should do that because they are the ones that gets affected in the first instance. Help don't reach them very quickly in time. And the only way to help them, to look after themselves if they get affected or be able to see signs and move to safer grounds, they need those support. The effort and focus now would be to build the capacity of our people out there at the forefront in the rural areas. We need to build a capacity so that they can be able to look after themselves.
And as the ROV keeps an eye on Mount Tavurvur, one thing is certain, she will erupt again.
The belief that we have is that we are in an area that is prone to volcanic eruption. So definitely there will be another one belonging to the new generation that will come. We've had ours, they had theirs, so definitely I certainly believe that there will be another one for the new generation.
The volcanoes in Rabaul will certainly erupt again. We know that there will be a period of rest by the volcanoes and then they will erupt again. And so we just have to be ready for the next eruption. And with the technology that is in place now, with the instrumentation, we will be in a much better position, be able to monitor and prepare for the next eruption there.
Welcome back to the Pacific Way. In recent years, Pacific Island youth have taken the international stage to call on world leaders to take action on climate change. Today, we hear the young people from the Pacific region share their stories of how the negative impacts of climate change have affected their Pacific Island homes, cultures, and day-to-day lives.
O Samoa sa tinu matengo fie o na laufanu manana, mai leone pai pai. O le stamila nuana vai tafele mun, ai mai si o na vaumatsu ole, ola lausi.
I love my little islands of Kiribati, and there's such a unique place in the world. And for me, it's really one of those places that has to be preserved. It's like, this is where my family's from.
I feel for my people. I want to live my life here in the Marshall Islands as the people in the old days lived there.
Even though same come, no before how me looking come, no before come, me looking come, everything in me easy no more because everything in me life. So got a big fish, sabi come stay sleep, ada osem so me fala sabi take him out the fish and go long market, got to go fame then pay school fee osem so em easy no more. This time me hard, this time me, but I Koroya hemida, so got a big fish out. So I got a small fish no got to stay. So this time I got to go take him got a small fish, got to go market or same. Hemi got to no sabi fame, same small too much.
We have coral bleaching. And when we have coral bleaching, coastal species of fish that are not there anymore.
Samoan villagers are making less money because their main source of income is the selling of their crops, which is getting badly damaged by the unusual weather.
Kinkaroon indo taulo mena uda indelana ni tumbu mena wea ilubu keda saranga mena iti keda ni lume ando babuna kena sa luda totola la kakana.
Ngono sabi na kasi ko me sangay me ba dreads taki na udi wa ilevu iyo se sini ndona ken madala chiko iyo nakanga keme misa takaptungango na nyure na nyuer sando tinga mengo mbachini wai songa na bunika ora runi kila ina runi taro na sisi ningele ko keme mikila runi taro sisi ningele kem sa tia ni mbachini wai.
As I make out small social garden, but like this one now, out of putuma bricks and then come gravel, putuma the dead leaves and something, then putum gravel into for resting place a little bit, make a motor survey grow not kakai block at that. First time rain too much, and then inside lo yam sa flood, there inside lo village plus a flood.
Okay, arokara kaya pere ni met kaya po miauki. Kindo takiyan tadi kan teran.
Men didi king kai kang ayah pun tai di kai main tawanu. Sekolah na mekin na ya pun rana ari. Ya nang dia kata kapu beres tabu nana aku akan tanya ngai na ba. Tawa ida wari kita tai mina ayah kaya nang didi dia kin.
Cibang kaya na ngai gitu kijen den. Camarong kalau nalelewar kijen ko di den ay. Nan pergerakan labalak sin labalak. Kin 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 labalak.
Coming out here, you really appreciate every little drop of water, every little drop of flour that goes into your cooking.
Waktu sampai na mi wala sabi kakayab na lo, time sa San Tomas. Hem na sabi make mi wala lelebet survive na lo, the time block climate change. Sun dry Tomas, sun every time. Wala sabi kakayab na o kita kain taro sim. Then banana, yam.
Tao vậy, từวันtao giờ ra bắt tao xin mẹ anh cả ngay, tao ni mẹ qua từ mẹ ngay kéo, mẹ đi năn tao qua ni mẹ, còn gì udah kita pun vậy, jadi nao abun udah kini tanan, aku xin mẹ hay cái, vậy nang kanan nó kau bang kan yang ngay mẹ nanti saya tarik.
I want my people, be resilient people, to live in Kiribati permanently and don't want to run away and move away from Kiribati. This is our beloved country and this is our main roads. This is where we belong.
Climate change is, it means a lot of things, but it means this to me personally. Behind me is the gravesite of my ancestors, my great-great-great-grandparents, and that's what it means to me, because climate change is what's affected my family personally. My father and my uncle had both passed earlier this year, and we weren't able to bury them here in their village, in their settlement.
With the movement due to climate change, me say time me move ko in all property below me, mi mas pen paken plopem all thing or lori. Living with them family.
Don't underestimate the problem of climate change. It's a big problem. But also don't underestimate us as a people, because we've lived here for thousands of years and we will fight to continue living here for thousands more.
Well, time has once again caught up with us. We leave you with this performance from the Guam delegation at the Festival of Pacific Arts in Solomon Islands in 2012. Be sure to check out all our stories on the Pacific Way YouTube channel and the Pacific Way Facebook page. Until next week, ale kakiteano.